Right then, I think this is a video that's going to stir some debate, but it's one that we need to have. And I'd like you to get involved in the comments as well once I've finished. Let me know which ones you agree with, which ones you disagree with. This is a video where we're going to look at the rebuild of Erik Ten Hag, and it's who needs to stay and who needs to go. So let's start with the very easy ones, shall we? Who needs to go? Paul Pogba. Anyone disagree with that? No one? No one? Yeah, I didn't think so. So Paul Pogba, his foot is well and truly out of the door at the moment. His dismissal has to be considered part of the cultural reset. The circus that he brings has caused nothing but harm, undermining different managers, undermining the club. United need to move beyond him. I can't convey my excitement at when we signed him, what I thought this would lead to. I was genuinely thrilled. Some of you know I was there at the Lowry. I'd managed to jib my way into the Lowry the night he signed, and cuddled him and told him I was excited for him coming back. And my son got a selfie with him. Had a brief conversation with him for about 15 seconds, and just said, I'm absolutely delighted that you're back. And there was genuine happiness in his. He said, I'm so happy to be back. I can't wait to get started. And it never started. It never really started. There's been some good moments, and to say that there wouldn't be just be lies, but it's been underwhelming. And I think he goes down as a massive flop of a transfer. Someone that we had on the books for free, someone that we paid 90 million to return, plus the wages over the last 6 years. It's a flop. Cavani. One of the best terrace songs in my life. Cult hero. Looked like he loved playing for the shirt whenever he turned up and actually played. Routinely injured. Heart isn't in England. Had a terrible start with the misunderstanding over what he had put on Instagram. If we'd have got him 10 years ago, he would be a massive cult hero at United. A throwback number 9 centre forward. Just can't be asked this year for whatever reason. Just does not want to play for us. I can almost not blame him, but he needs to go. If we can find someone that's just a younger version of him, we need to snap him up straight away. But Cavani, gone. Lingard, he turns 30 this year. The best thing for him would have been to go last year. He didn't for whatever reason. I was quite shocked at that. Then he was told he could go in January, and then he didn't for whatever reason, possibly the Mason Greenwood stuff. And he stuck around and had a couple of substitute appearances since. His wages are too high. He isn't a first-team player. He would have been a decent squad player if he'd have been utilised, I think. But forget it. It's not happened. Move on. Go play somewhere else and enjoy your football. The spell it had at West Ham shown what he's capable of, but he's not showing it at United. Nemanja Matic, best centre defensive midfielder of the club, but legs are shot. Well past his best at the moment. Already confirmed that he's leaving. We need to find, again, another younger version of him, like we've got him and Cavani. Genuine world-class players at one point in their career, but it ain't now. So, yeah, laters. Juan Mata doesn't fit into the dynamic sort of footballing system that we're going to be playing, for sure. We need a system that's based on energy, dynamism, fitness, intensity. And for as much as Juan Mata brings, he doesn't bring those things. He's a big wage. He almost looks embarrassed to play, I would say, at the moment, even though I think he's actually looked pretty good when he comes on lately. Will go down as a wonderful footballer. I can't believe how long he's actually been at Old Trafford. Some sensational moments, lovely bloke, but it's time now, and that is that. Phil Jones, he needs a new chapter. We need a new chapter. He's never going to take us to the next level. Having him around, I don't think represents anything positive for Manchester United. He needs to go. A big wage off the bill. Seriously unproductive as a centre-half because he's just never available. And we need to move beyond the sentiment and just say, you're not fit for why we need you, so off you go and rebuild your career somewhere. Harry Maguire. Some people obsessed with stats and progression not fully understanding the different types of progression that you can have as a centre-back. For some reason, I've got a massive Harry Maguire fetish. But he's not a good defender. He's not a good 1v1 defender. He's a liability when he's played high up. He doesn't scan enough. He's error prone. I think his confidence is also shot to shit. Unfortunately, the price of him means that it's going to be difficult to keep him on the bench. So I think the best thing for everyone involved would be to move him on. Don't think he has the character to be a Manchester United player. Certainly doesn't have the character to be a Manchester United captain. If United want to win things, you're not going to do it with a player that's been relegated. I think more than once. You need people who are proven winners. So move him on. Wan-Bissaka. I think he has actually improved since he arrived, but he's not improved at a rate that justifies him being a £50 million signing that gets to stick around. He is no longer first choice. He is a non-factor going forward. He's a target to be pressed. He's a target in the air. He is more suited to a team that's going to sit back and defend with their lives. And I think his ceiling was found at Manchester United, and it isn't a Manchester United height. So cut your losses on him and Maguire. It's going to be costly, but I think more costly if you kept them around. Luke Shaw. There's a reason once that Rangnick that said he wasn't good enough for United. Jose Mourinho also said he wasn't good enough for United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer preferred Brandon Williams over him and signed another left-back over him. He's had one good 6 months in about 8 years at the club. It's not good enough. It's absolutely not good enough. There's talk that he doesn't love the game. He isn't built of the right stuff. His decision-making, I think, is awful. And again, because he's got good progression stats, people think he's a good footballer. He's a terrible footballer. He doesn't get beyond the edge of the box. It's almost like he limits himself to working between the two boxes. He's always facing our goal because he's never in the right position in the first place to deal with any threats that are coming towards him. He's got the defensive instincts of a paper bag in the wind. And I just don't think he offers anywhere near enough. And with the importance, same with Wan-Bissaka, the importance of modern-day fullbacks in the game, this isn't acceptable to have both of these two playing at Manchester United. He's on a serious, serious wage. There's better out there. Eric Bailly. I love chaos. Eric Bailly delivers chaos in buckets. He's never available. He's made of glass. The best ability is availability, hence why Harry Maguire plays week in, week out. You know, to give Harry some credit, he's actually bulletproof. He plays week in, week out. The Eric Bailly experiment hasn't moved on. I like him. I think he's a good defender. I think he's got a lot of good qualities, but he can't stay fit. You got to go. Too many injury-prone players, and they never switch it round. Anthony Martial. Does he deserve an opportunity to redeem himself at United? Not for me. He went to Sevilla, and all he had to do was impress for 6 months and probably get himself a contract there. And even they're sick of him. It's not even got to the end of his 6 months yet. He's gone to Spain and not being able to put the ball in the back of the net on a consistent basis. 2 goals all season. He's probably one of United's best chances at a transfer fee to recoup some of the money that we're definitely losing on everybody else on this list. Sell him. And in all honesty, that's not everyone. I'm just trying to keep this video under 2 hours long. There's others that I don't think are going to cut it. I think you can probably only keep one of Garner, Levitt and Galbraith, considering their age. I don't think you can keep both Mengi and Bernard on ice. I think some of them need to probably be moved on as well. But who stays? Jadon Sancho. Massive investment last summer. Started off poor. Has finished a bit stronger. Looks like he's probably now started to adapt to the Premier League. You've got to remember, this might be English, but he's never played Premier League football before. He has grown into his role. I think finding the correct role for him and seeing how Tadic plays for Ajax, I think Sancho fits that bill very, very well. Still got serious potential about him. Seems to have a pretty decent head on his shoulders. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be very suited to the style of play that Ten Hag is going to bring, and I think he'll be a star for us next season. Rashford. I think he stays because I don't think United sell him. I think that would be a massive PR, and I know people are going to say everything about Marcus is PR. It's not the case. I don't think United can sell him from a PR point of view because it'd be a massive kick in the teeth if one of the stars of our academy was to be moved on, especially with the controversy surrounding one of the other stars of the academy at the moment. His performances this season have been awful. I mean, genuinely awful. We've seen half of the players on this list have had more than one awful season at the club, and people are still fighting to keep them here. I'm going to put this down to the injuries for sure, a kickback over what's happened in the summer, and the operation. But it can't continue. By 6-7 weeks into the season next year, Marcus Rashford needs to be back to the Marcus Rashford that was putting 30 goals and assists down. Otherwise, the writing's on the wall for him as well. But everyone's allowed one bad season. People forget some of the seasons Ronaldo had. People forget, some of some of our best players have had really, really off seasons. People forget Alan Shearer once scored like 5 Premier League goals. Drogba scored 5 Premier League goals. People are allowed to go through a dip. It's can you come back from that, though? This season has been a 1 out of 10 for Marcus. It's really been bad. His confidence looks gone. And the difference between Marcus and Maguire, because some people are going to say Maguire's only had 1 bad season. It's systematic. Marcus, I think, definitely was more suited to being a counter-attacking player, as was Maguire. But I think Marcus can also work in a team that holds the ball because of the runs he makes off the ball. Whereas I'm not sure that that's the case with Harry Maguire. Ronaldo. Really on the fence with Ronaldo because on one hand, I think United could move into a different direction and bring in a younger, fresher forward. On the other hand, I don't think we're going to have that budget. I don't think we're going to invest that level of money into a striker. And there's probably other areas of the pitch that need desperate surgery more than the guy that's scored 20 goals for us this season. Especially when you've got some other players in the periphery as well. I think United need to go and pick up an absolute bargain. If we're going to be playing Europa League football, I don't want Cristiano Ronaldo playing it. Let Ronaldo play in the Premier League. Let him go watch fucking Emmerdale or something on Thursday nights. And let's have a Europa League footballer. I don't care who it is. Whether that is a Tammy Abraham, whether that is a Danny Welbeck even, or even worse, someone like a Mitrovic. I don't care. Just someone to lead the line to allow us to play a certain way that's going to be happy playing 12 games a season. And I'm sure that's getting clipped up and misconstrued somewhere. But it's on the basis that I don't think we will bring in someone that's going to cost 70, 80 million. That could be our Haaland that's going to lead the line for us for every game of the season. So I don't think Ronaldo can play every single game. I would prioritise the Premier League for him, and I would get someone that can do the midweek stuff. Maybe even give someone like Charlie McNeil or Hugo the opportunity to do that. Varane, underwhelmed this year, disappointed with his injury record, but he does have winning credentials and DNA, and he's probably the best defender that we currently have at the club. People were talking about his injury record like he's been like this for 5 years, but the past 3 seasons he played 40-odd games. I'm hoping this is a one-time thing, and let's see if he can get over it. Otherwise, United probably going to have to start looking at another centre-half to bring in. Lindelof, he stays. With Bailly and Jones leaving, the injury concerns over Varane. I don't think Maguire leaves. I think he should. You can't let every centre-half go because you're 1 and 2 injuries away from just having nothing to play at centre-half. Certainly good enough to be the third choice. And as third choice, you're playing a lot. And I think that would be fine. He makes the cut. Dalot's another one that I'm very much on the fence with. I actually think he's more suited to Ten Hag football than Wan-Bissaka. Age is on his side. He did have a really good loan spell in Serie A. I think that probably gives him a little bit more in the tank compared to Wan-Bissaka. He's still not the starting right back, but if you bring in a starting right back, he's not the worst backup in the world to have. Elanga, he brought energy and he brought fire. I think he's got a limited ceiling. I don't think he's ever going to be called world class. I don't necessarily even think he should be starting week in, week out, a little bit like McTominay. I think when those players, as academy graduates, are your squad players to a world class or first choice whoever, I think the club's in a really good spot there, because I think you get a real vibe of some of the academy players when they come in and perform that task. He could develop into a really good squad player. Maybe he needs a loan where he's going to play week in, week out, possibly in the Premier League. That would give him some confidence and add some more tools to his game, I think. Bruno Fernandes. I've seen some people kicking off about him signing a contract. He was always going to be given a contract. He just was. Like, the numbers that he puts up, there's no manager in the world looking at all the problems that United have got and been like, whoa, get rid of him. It was never going to happen. Obviously, he's just been given his new contract. Statistically phenomenal. You know, this season aside, or even you add this season in, it's still statistically phenomenal. He needs to improve his ball retention for sure, but I think the way Ten Hag plays football, there's definitely a way that he can fit in that system, and he'll be one of our key players going forward without a shadow of a doubt. Donny van de Beek, probably one of the happiest people at Ten Hag being appointed. He's going to have a manager that he knows has played him. Now, what's going to be massively interesting is if Ten Hag doesn't play him, clearly he's not suited to English football. But I'm sure he's going to get given the opportunity to prove himself. Maybe even come back with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, because I felt Donny's been a little bit passive at times and a little bit accepting of his treatment. And I would like to see him go out there with a little bit of fire in him. Technically, he's great. And I think knowing how Ten Hag plays football is going to be a massive help. Having him in the squad, it's at least someone that knows what he's looking to do, and it's an extra hand for Ten Hag on a training pitch when someone's like, hang on, where do I go when they've got it here? Oh, all right, yeah, I got you. So I think he's definitely going to be one that sticks around. Certainly don't think he'll be given the bullet. He'll get given an opportunity. Simple as that. Fred has confused me this season. When he's played as a 6, sometimes you just want to headbutt a table. When he's played in the opposition half, he's impressed. We've seen someone that plays with guile, with energy, with bravery, with skill and ability. I don't know what happens when he crosses the halfway line and he becomes a defensive midfielder, but he falls to pieces. Again, a bit like McTominay and Alanga, I don't think Fred's a starting midfielder for Manchester United. And the day that he moves to be someone that you bring on for a bit of energy, maybe to shore up a game, maybe to change the pace, United are in a really good spot. So I think he probably stays. And with the turnover of players that we've got, it'd be a bit dramatic to get rid of Fred in the middle of all that as well, I think. And like McTominay is the last one. McTominay, again, like Fred, like Alanga, squad player. That's fine. You need different levels of abilities in the squad. You need the people, like your Ronaldos, who turn up and go, I'm fucking playing, right? I'm playing. Obviously I'm playing. And you need the people that are just going to sit there and be happy to be 15 games a season, 12 games a season, coming off the bench more than they start. They're very vital players within a squad. I reckon that's another reason you're going to see McTominay kept around. From what I hear, he's got a really good attitude and he's one of the fittest players in the squad. Those are the things that make a massive difference. It's a thin line between someone that you want to keep and someone that you want to let go. But I think with the mass turnover that we're going to have, I think having someone like McTominay, with the character that I'm led to believe he's got, would be a real good thing. He could find himself surplus to requirements after 12 months, though. But I just think the mass turnaround that we're going to see means that he's probably going to be one that has to stick around. Now, we'll definitely do a video in the coming weeks and months where we look at exactly what Manchester United's squad looks like, where we've promoted youngsters into, where we've let people go, what our 25-man squad looks like. We'll get into that over the next weeks and months, obviously. But I want to know, do you agree or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments, because there's some holes in this squad that we're going to have to fill, and not all of them are going to get filled with the checkbook. So cheers for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you lot in a bit. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.